Hey everybody, and welcome to the Minish Recap, the ZBN's video game news show where we recap the latest news in gaming in 10 minutes or less. Except, this is E3, and we have way more to cover that we could get done in 10 minutes. I'm Spigel. Over here on my left is Dan.
Hi.
And on my right is Josh.
Are we pretending like we're doing this together, or?
Yes, well, we're doing it together. Yeah.
Sitting around the table. It's pretty nice.
This is very important, guys. Please stop making fun of me. Today we're going to be going over Bethesda's conference. But, so Bethesda had their press conference just last night. We're recording first thing in the morning. E3 is great, right? Because we just have a whole day just full of just stuff to do. This is going to be a blast.
It's really great. I love being tired all day. It's real fun.
So, that's what you get for living in another country. But I thought we could start off today with a little bit of healthy screaming, just to kind of get us warmed up for this Bethesda show.
Oh no!
Does anyone want to? So if you didn't watch the show last night, this was probably the funniest thing that has happened in any E3 in recent memory. There was just, I don't know if it was like a plant in the audience, but there was this woman who every time anything would get announced or said, she would just scream like bloody murder at the top of her lungs, like so excited. And this came to a peak, I think, when they started talking about Elder Scrolls Online, and they said the name of the Dark Brotherhood DLC, and she just lost it.
Oh,
it was awesome. And some other people joined her too.
Yeah, the thing is, at first I thought she was being paid to do that, but then I was like, if they were going to pay someone, they'd pay someone to convincingly be excited, but not that excited, you know? It was just too much.
Or they would pay people to not be annoying about it.
Yeah. Like, if she was getting paid, she's lost her job. That's never again is she getting hired to do that, cause...
Yeah, like, the people who get paid to do that are the people who start the slow claps when, there's not a lot of enthusiasm. And we'll get to all that later. But I just want to start off general impressions of the show. Anyone just jump in. What'd you think?
I mean, it was okay. I don't think it was that good. It was just meh.
Yeah, I thought it was just on par, just par. It set the par for the rest of this E3, whereas EA set the bar really low.
It's funny because when we first finished it and I was going over my impressions, I had really enjoyed it while I was watching it. But then I went back and I looked at all the stuff. I'm like, they really didn't announce that much, which I think was I think it was the case of Bethesda just being really good at putting together an entertaining press conference. Because I did enjoy a lot of what they did, but
yeah, it's because it was really well presented, but there wasn't really any substance to it. It was just amazingly, it was a really well said speech with nothing really behind it. There was just fluff. Because it was a lot of DLC and kind of meaningless stuff. There was only about 3 new things, I think, and it just
so let's just start going through some of those things. The first thing they announced was and we were watching the IGN live stream as it went through, and we were watching a little pre-show, and the guy Jared Petty on there was really excited about Quake, and he really wanted Quake, and he was like, America needs more Quake and more Halo beer, and and so the Bethesda led off the conference with this new Quake Champions. So riding the wave of Doom's success, they announced Quake Champions, which is kind of like the multiplayer side. I always looked at Doom and Quake as like two sides of the same coin. One is single player, one is multiplayer. So now they're doing Quake, which I think is really cool. I'm not really attached to the series at all, but it's cool to see it. I always like when they bring back classic franchises and give them the new, the new modern gaming treatment.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer looked cool, but it's all kind of pre-rendered, so we don't really know much about the gameplay. But what really stood out for me with the Quake presentation was that the guy who came out to talk about it seemed like he really cared. Like, he was really passionate about Quake, and he clearly wanted it to be good. So I kind of have faith in that team developing a good Quake game, if you know what I mean. Because I always like it when developers come out on stage and they clearly care about the game they're making, and that kind of really came across with that guy, I think.
Yeah, and I thought the character designs were nicely retro yet new at the same time. They were really well designed. Yeah, it was cool.
I thought it was cool that that id is doing it just like they did Doom, and id did such a good job with Doom that I have no reason but to trust them for Quake. So I think it'll be good, and it's not necessarily for me, but it's nice to see that they're putting effort into these games, that they're not just like, oh, we're gonna reboot this franchise and like, oh, there it is and go buy it. It doesn't like they're actually trying. They're not just crapping it out into the stores like, oh, go buy this relic of the past. Anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought.
Yeah, anyone have anything to say on Elder Scrolls Legends, which was a strategy card game with a story mode? That's about all I got out of that.
Aside from that it's trash and that digital card games shouldn't exist and that they're trash, and just play a real card game, you loser. Like, seriously, don't talk about card games at E3. It's such a waste of my time. I'm going to seem really salty throughout all of this because I was watching this at like 3 a.m. I'd been having loads of technical difficulties with the EA, editing the EA conference videos, so I was really salty watching this, so I was sitting there like, card games, how dare you? And I'm really tired because I didn't get much sleep, and I'm still a little bit salty about it, so...
Well, the thing
card games can go away.
They were presenting this thing as this great new inclusion in the Elder Scrolls ethos, and...
Oh, it's so not.
And now it's just Elder Scrolls Legends, that's just it. And they had this trailer that had stills that didn't even have animation in it. It was just stills of characters.
Trailers with stills can just go F right off. Like, that's so stupid. Like, why would you do that? It's a trailer. Just like...
It's so dumb.
Yeah. So, yeah, no one cares about that. Sorry, Screaming cares. Lady. No, you're the only person who cares. Then they did some interesting stuff. It was... So, a big theme of the night was, like, DLC and updates and stuff, because Bethesda, they're a smaller studio, so they don't always have, like, stuff that they can be showing. But then they had some Fallout 4 stuff, which I thought was going to be a fairly large focus of the show, and it was, because they showed off a lot of new stuff. You can like build your own vault coming next month. There's like this thing called Nuka World, which looks like a theme park. That's pretty cool.
There's Rube Goldberg machines now, so that's pretty great.
I'm like totally on board with like free updates for Fallout, just because it's such a big game, and ironically it's now becoming the game that it should have been at launch, which is that's always been my thing about Fallout 4. But
so it's kind of like Splatoon then. It's slowly becoming a game that's worth playing, except it's not. I said Splatoon didn't, because they didn't change the let's not go there actually. Let's not go there.
Stop.
I realized my mistake as I started talking.
So did you guys think anything of this stuff, or do you want to just move on?
Nah, I haven't played Fallout 4. I have no opinion.
Or wait, what about the you can build your own vaults and stuff?
Yeah, I mentioned that it looks like Fallout Shelters now on console.
It's Fallout Shelter, but good. It's in the actual game.
Dan, you liked Fallout Shelter, right?
I enjoyed Fallout Shelter for a couple of weeks.
Are you excited about it coming to PC? Because that was like their next big announcement. I think I might get that.
I felt that like Fallout Shelter was beneficial because I could just quickly open it on my tablet before I went to bed. I feel no purpose in having it on a PC in any way, shape, or form. It just seems pointless.
Yeah.
And the additions they're making to Fallout Shelter don't make me want to go back and play it. I really enjoyed it when I did play it, but I'm done with it. I don't care. I felt like this isn't an E3 worthy announcement. Fallout Shelter expansions, whatever. Who cares? It's just no. Go away.
Yeah, and being on PC would just make it more of a waste of time because it's not as convenient.
Yeah, because it's not convenient. It's not as easily like accessible. It's not like I can just be like, oh, just tap that open, have a little go away. It's like I've got to open the program and open Steam and do all that. It's just it kind of, I don't know.
So you're saying it's not a game that's worth playing on PC? It's just like something that exists?
No, it's a quick waste of time on mobile, which is kind of the point of mobile games, I think. Which doesn't make them worse as games; it just makes them a different style of video game, to be honest. But
how you feel the need to defend the mobile game when you're around me.
I know. I'm on the defense. So then
let's do you want to move on? So they announced Skyrim Remastered, which I'm actually surprised didn't make more people excited, because people seem to always get excited over remasters for no reason at all.
Here's the thing I found with that. PC users had it ages ago. Like, because they have HD textures and mods. They basically just said, hey, here's Skyrim, but the PC version on consoles. That's basically what they said.
It does look
it's
a lot
not impressive.
Better. It does look a lot better than any of the visual mods I've seen for Skyrim, though.
Yeah, but not that much better. The thing is, Skyrim, I don't think making it visually more impressive improves Skyrim. Skyrim was fun because of how it was built as a game and how it played, not like I don't
That
think the visuals really
yeah,
affect anything. I'm not
I
gonna
agree with that. Yeah.
I'm not gonna play it again because of that.
the visuals do have an impact on your experience of the game. Like I feel like my experience playing Ocarina of Time 3D was heightened because of the new visual fidelity on the 3DS. But
Mine wasn't. It was still garbage. Oh well, move on.
That's
Pray.
that's a phrase you'll never hear. New visual fidelity on 3DS. So let's move on. The next part I think was the high point of the conference for me personally.
Yeah,
and
same.
they showed off Prey. It was like a CG-ish trailer for Prey.
yeah,
I think it was pretty
but
much all pre-rendered. But it
Yeah,
looks
every
good.
every
I
bit
never-
of it
It's
was.
intriguing.
Right, exactly. And that was the big thing is like they managed to show off a franchise that kind of flopped out of the gate. Prey, they canceled Prey 2. So this is probably just a reboot, and I like the approach they're taking. The game looks cool. You're in 2032, and so we'll see if maybe that stuff is accurate when 2032 rolls around.
And
I
we're all
don't like
still
it
alive.
when they set I don't like when they set games like so close to the present day and like it's super
Yeah.
technologically advanced. It's
Yeah.
like, come on, what do we have in 2000? What do we have in 2002? Basically, what we have now. So I don't buy it. But
yeah,
but the game
Prey's
still looks
intriguing.
cool.
yeah,
I trust Arcane as well. Like Dishonored was good, so I kind of trust them. I trust Prey in their hands to become an interesting, well-built
It-
kind of world because
it
those
is-
guys are good.
it is kind of funny though, seeing this trailer for Prey and how great it looks, and then you look at Dishonored 2, which still looks good, but it still like when you're comparing the two of them, like these are made by the same people, and then you realize that Prey is probably going to look more like Dishonored 2 than the
Oh,
CGI
yeah, that's a
stuff
good
they
point,
showed.
actually.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Okay. So the conference kind of hit a brick wall at that point. I think everybody pretty much agrees on that. They did some
Yeah.
Doom stuff. They did ESO stuff. They announced that there was a Blink 182 concert across the street that like everybody was going to, and were people excited about that? I can't remember.
The audience
Um,
was.
Well, I mean,
Stupid.
it kind of went in line because they were announcing all the small things at this conference.
Oh man! How long did it take you to think of that joke?
I literally just came up with it. I'm actually quite proud
That
of
was
myself.
so bad I can't even laugh at it. Like my body will not let me.
It's fine, cut that,
Start
don't worry
freezing.
about it. There was VR. VR showed up because everyone
Yeah,
cares
so
about
they
that.
did say they were going to be showing some VR stuff over across the street with Blink 182, and it was interesting because they said you'd get to see Doom on the HTC Vive, and they were releasing Fallout 4 on HTC Vive, which I think that's actually a pretty huge announcement.
Yeah.
I don't really care because I don't have $9,000 to spare, but it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, but who cares really, though? Apart from people who have
People
a
who are
Vive.
into VR, I mean,
I care.
Omni cares.
VR is really exciting.
I don't care about what Omni thinks.
So let's move on. The last thing they showed was Dishonored 2, and it was a long like gameplay demo.
It was.
And it was scripted,
Yeah.
but it was really honestly the first actual lengthy look at any type of gameplay that we saw at this E3, aside
Star
from
Wars
the Titanfall
Battlefront,
2
though.
like sizzle reel.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront had that whole lengthy 64-player game that I don't think you watched.
Battlefield 1.
Oh,
not Star
yeah.
Wars Battlefront.
I screwed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. But that wasn't actually that wasn't in conference.
Oh,
though.
yeah,
that
I
was like
guess.
after the
Yeah.
show.
I guess,
so-
but if you're not counting that, then Nintendo has nothing this year then. Because that was essentially their equivalent of a treehouse. So I feel like I can
Okay.
count that. But
All
yeah,
right, well,
anyway,
fair enough.
Dishonored 2.
So yeah, Dishonored 2, we had so they announced this, and there was no audience reaction.
No, not at all.
And Josh
Super
loved
weird.
the audience at this show because they went nuts over Elder Scrolls Online, but they didn't make a noise for Dishonored
They went
2.
nuts over Elder
was
Scrolls
like
Online, Elder Scrolls Legends, all of those little things that people don't care that much about. And then when the interesting game comes up at the very end, they're silent, absolutely silent.
Yeah, and it's not like Dishonored 1 was bad. It was a good game. I don't get why they were so like just nonplussed about it. Dishonored 2 has potential. It could be a really
Yeah.
good game. And the thing is with Dishonored 2, I really liked how much the guy was basically saying how they were putting loads of detail into the world building and how like they were looking into how like a shop would have been like years before the game and
Yeah.
all of this stuff and the history of the world. And that's really interesting to me. And I hope I hope you can actually see it in the final product instead of it just being something they say to sell it.
If I
the
could,
guy was going over. Sorry, Josh.
Yes, sorry.
The guy was going over like, with the characters in the game, like what their daily schedule was and like where they would stop to have lunch. And I was like, that's really cool. I love it when they put that much detail and attention into a character, and they're not just like a
Yeah.
backdrop for the game, but they're actually like living their lives within the game. I love it when they do stuff like that, and that showed a lot of potential. But are they going to follow through on that is the question, and we'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah,
But Dishonored 2 looks a lot like it looks kind of just like Dishonored 1. Pretty much also visually it doesn't look that much better than Dishonored 1, which is kind of a bit I wouldn't say disappointing because I'm not that into like visuals, but I feel like it should be better. And then like
It looked like a last gen game a little bit, didn't it?
yeah, it
like-
did.
oh,
With
I'm
the
not,
textures
I'm
and
not
the
that into
animations.
visuals, but Ocarina of Time on the N64 looks like crap. Oh.
And plays like crap. Shut up, Josh.
Whoa. Okay.
It's garbage. It's a bad game. Anyway, so Dishonored 2, it looks like it's going to play like Dishonored 1, but with more powers, which, I mean, I'm fine with, because Dishonored 1 was pretty fun, so I'm good. And they had like the time travel power that looked good.
Yeah,
Who's
I was
making-
going to mention that. That looks
Yeah.
awesome. That looked
That
really,
looks
really
so
cool.
rad.
And who made the BioShock comparison last night? Because I thought that was pretty accurate.
I was making a lot of BioShock comparisons, but I know other people were too.
Yeah, Dishonored 1 it's kind of like Bioshock, but it kind of has its own twist and its own world to it, so it's different, but the same a little bit. Yeah.
It has a very similar visual style to it to me that BioShock Infinite had. The way the character animations move around, and they kind of look like toys walking around with stiff animations. Honestly,
Yeah, I can see that. That's a fair
Yeah.
stance.
It's not a great excuse for bad animations. But, so I think,
Yeah.
I mean, we can all agree that the Dishonored 2 segment kind of dragged. Why
It did
was
a bit,
that?
yeah.
Was it because they showed?
I think the problem with it was that, well, they had a lot of interesting things to show in retrospect, like a lot of really cool gameplay mechanics. The time travel thing was really cool, but they paced it really, really poorly, and it
Yeah.
didn't help to accentuate the good parts of it. Like, it was really chopped up. It jumped from place to place. It was all over. Even the time travel bit at the end was really brief compared to the rest of it for some reason.
They should have shown more of that.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I
that was
really
rad.
liked that. That was probably the coolest thing we've seen at E3 so far. I would submit that time travel stuff.
I don't know. FIFA has a story mode now, so that's pretty cool.
I don't want to rant too much on EA because like I wasn't part of that reaction, but I want to say right now I hated that press conference. I hated it so much.
Oh man.
So I think that'll do it for our little Minish recap here. We just aimed just under 20 minutes, so good place to stop. I think. Just final thoughts time. Final scores maybe for the conference.
6 out of 10.
I give it a 7 out of 10. And I would give the audience a 1 out of 10 because
Are we rating
I
the
don't know
audience
what
now?
to
Is that a
do.
thing?
Yes, we're doing that now. Hoo, 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 hoo.
I hope this is listenable. I hope people aren't just like, why are they screaming so much? I give it a 7 out of 10 as well. I thought it was good. I thought it was a solid press conference. Even if they didn't show a lot of stuff, they managed to keep me from not being bored, and I mean, I guess that's a good thing. So
Yeah. I mean, it was fine. I think my 6 is just because it dragged so much on. Like, the other thing, I think it was just me that got annoyed by this, but they were really, like, bigging themselves up a lot throughout the whole thing. They were like, oh, Fallout 4 sold really well, here's some DLC for it. Oh, everyone loves Elder Scrolls Legends, here's some campaign trailer. And
But
I'm
I
like,
mean,
shut up.
I mean, it
everyone
is
does that
a
at E3.
press conference. It's a
Yeah, but
press conference, right? It's
You
for
have
the
to
press.
present
I mean,
yourself
they're-
confidently for the audience to react positively to you.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be like, oh yeah, Fallout 4 sold pretty good. You hear some, or like not say anything at all. It's like, here's some DLC for a game that nobody bought.
I don't
Like,
know, but
that, how would that?
there was just so much of it, and it might have been because it was 3 a.m. and I was like extra salty when I was watching it, but
That's probably
it came across as really smug to me, and I just wasn't happy with it. But yeah,
Well, speaking of smugness, we got Microsoft later today. We got some Ubisoft. Stay tuned, guys. We'll have all these reactions up for you. Hopefully by tomorrow. Hopefully EA will be up soon. So
yeah.
stay
hopefully.
tuned. to the
Technical
ZBN.
difficulties.
It really is just not good. All right,
Yeah,
now with,
I'm
with,
struggling.
with this editing software. It's really unfortunate, but you know what? It wouldn't be E3 without a couple of technical hiccups. So hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Spigel. He's Dan and Josh and all these people are here with me, and we're gonna keep being with you. I need to end the video. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.